February 26th. Time for more Black excellence during Black History Month. Let's get it. So today we're going to talk about the wonderful Miss Marian Anderson. If you don't know, you're about to know. Miss Anderson is actually a well-known American contralto, which is a singer in the opera. She was born on February 27, 1897 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She's the eldest of three girls to John and Ann Anderson, and thanks to her Aunt Mary, she actually began singing in the church choir at the age of 6. At the young age of 10, she joined the People's Chorus of Philadelphia, where she was often a soloist. Because her singing talents were so impressive, her church as well as her community raised funds to send her to South Philadelphia High School, as well as to have singing lessons with prominent black soprano Mary Saunders Patterson. She would graduate high school in 1921, and thanks to her community as well as her principal, she would meet and be trained under famous American opera voice teacher Giuseppe Borghetti. He was so moved by the first performance she did for him that it actually brought him to tears. A few years later in 1925, she would get her first big break as she would win a singing competition, which gave her the opportunity to sing with the New York Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra, and it was an immediate success. Over the next few years, she would make more appearances, but racism would slow the momentum a tad bit, as she wouldn't make her first appearance in Carnegie Hall until 1928. In 1929, she performed at Orchestra Hall in Chicago and was so impressive that she received the Rosenwald Fellowship Fund to go study abroad in Germany. From 1930 to 1934, she would have a highly successful tour career in Europe without dealing with nearly the amount of racism that she dealt with in America. She would return in 1935 and would continue to tour in both the US and in Europe up until 1939. In 1939, one of her most prominent performances happened, as she was actually set to perform at the Dar Constitution Hall, but was turned away due to a white performance only policy that was in place at the time. This sparked local and national outrage against the organization and the city of DC as well for their racist policies, which would actually lead her to perform on the Lincoln Memorial steps in front of more than 75,000 people on April 9th, Easter Sunday, 1939. In the 1940s and early 50s, Anderson would entertain troops in World War II and the Korean War at hospitals and bases, and she would actually get to perform at the Constitution Hall in 1943. But her biggest moment in her career came on January 5th, 1955, when she became the first African-American woman to perform at the New York Metropolitan Opera. After that crowning achievement, she would begin to start stepping away from the limelight, but she did perform for President Eisenhower's inauguration in 1957 and JFK's inauguration in 1962. And her final farewell performance would come on April 18th, 1965 at Carnegie Hall. She would live the rest of her days in peace with her family until she would pass away on April 8th, 1993. Mrs. Anderson, even though you're no longer here, we just want to say thank you for opening the doors to the world of opera for people like us. Tune in tomorrow for more Black excellence during Black History Month. Peace.